Hey, everybody. I'm Maury Zelkovich, and I'd like to welcome you to this month's customer service call. I'm here for you. The whole idea behind these calls, just so you all know, is that I'm here for you, which means you drive the call and how long it lasts for. Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all that you want to discuss other than the products of other people, I am here for. So, what I need from you is to actually type some questions for me. Okay. If I don't get questions, then it's going to be very difficult for me to keep this call going. So, as you know, on YouTube, there's a little box provided. I'd appreciate it if you could just type away and give me some questions or comments. I'm here for you, so I really need you to participate for me, okay? In the meantime, while I'm waiting for some of you to start typing, I will point out a couple of things that I'm going to be doing as experiments, my family and I. So the first thing we're going to be doing, and this is just to fill some time, okay, to give you guys a chance to type your questions and comments. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is starting the first day of next month, and for 7 days, I'm not going to be using power when the sun goes down. No lights, actually. Power I'll be using, but no lights. I've been discussing this, and I think that there's a lot of issues with disrupting our circadian rhythm. And in our society, we live in a society where when the sun goes down, it's meaningless, and when the sun comes up, it's meaningless because we have electric light everywhere. So, what I'm going to be doing for a week solid is when the sun goes down, every light in the house goes off. I can have the lights on during the day as long as it's light outside. As soon as the sun goes down, though, lights go off. If I want to have light in the house, it has to be candlelight. The idea is allowing my body to get back into what nature intended. You see, this is how the human body is intended to operate. It's intended to operate that when the sun comes up, we wake up. That's why as things get brighter, we tend to awake. As things get darker, we're supposed to calm down. We're supposed to relax. We're supposed to unwind, and then we're supposed to go to sleep. So I'm going to be doing that for a week solid, and I'll get back to you folks after with any results that I might have. I thought that would be a pretty cool thing to try, so I'm going to be trying it. All right, let's see. Any questions? Okay. I'm waiting for questions. Questions. All right, let's try something here. Okay, questions. I'm looking for questions, folks. I need questions. Okay, so let's see. While you're typing, because I'm sure you're all typing very nicely there, what else can I talk about? The other interesting experiment that I've been trying and using a lot of lately, actually, and interestingly enough, is that I'm watching my language very, very carefully. You know, a lot of us, we speak without really governing what comes out. If someone cuts us off, say driving, we're very likely to swear and maybe give them what is colloquially known as the bird. These things, when we swear, it doesn't make us feel good. It makes us feel kind of crappy, actually. Pardon me. We kind of go through our lives not really paying attention to what is going on around us and what is affecting us in what possible way. So what I've been doing is for the last couple of months, I've been really watching my language. I am consciously working to stay away from anger, from if people annoy me or tick me off or cut me off, for instance, I am assuming that they've got things going on in their lives that are making them distracted, that are making them unhappy. And instead of getting angry at them, I'm sending my love to them. I've been noticing that I'm quite a bit happier. Now, understandably, I wasn't overly upset before anyway, but I'm even noticing, even with the meditation I do, and even with all the recordings I listen to, and how great my life is, it's even a little bit better watching what I say. So maybe some of you would care to try one of those or both of those experiments, if you will, the language experiment as well as the light experiment. And let me know in the comments or email me and let me know what's going on and how you have reacted to it. I think you might be surprised at the difference watching one's language can make. You know, just think of how you feel. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to your pay attention to your instincts. Pay attention to your gut, to your heart, to your head. Pay attention to all of these things when thoughts go through your mind, when ego gets involved, when you get angry, when you get upset, when you get anxious. Just pay attention. And then work to reinterpret the stimulus around you away from creating anger and instead to creating understanding and love, and see how that feels differently. I think you'll notice quite the difference. Okay, it looks like we do have a question from Joe. Hey, Maury, any updates on the new VY program? VY program. Okay. You want to tell me what you mean by VY program? That would be good. Okay, Joe, I'll be more than happy. There is a program called VIE. Maybe that's what you're talking about. It's actually VIE. I'll assume that's what it is, unless you correct me. The VIE program is ready to go into beta. It's ready to go for testing, but I'm working on a launch for my Revitamind program. For those of you that don't know about Revitamind, one of the recordings within this was written up in a book that was on the New York Times bestsellers list by a doctor by the name of Dale Bredesen, and he's actually a very big doctor in the U.S. He's come up with a protocol called Recode, which actually has been shown to halt and even reverse Alzheimer's. He's got something like over 100 case studies that I'm aware of already that show using Recode can actually positively affect your condition if you have Alzheimer's or other forms of cognitive decline. Now, keep in mind that my recordings are not the only aspect of this program, but it is a part of the program and part of the system that is often suggested. I'm getting doctors and clinics suggesting my recordings, literally prescribing them to patients. So now that we have the ear of the medical community and we have some evidence showing up that this stuff is for real, we're working on putting together a updated version of Revitamind, as well as a whole system to launch it so that we can get it out to more people and hopefully help more people. So that's what's happening with VI. Okay, it looks like Joe says I'm right. It is VI. Yeah, no problem. Hey, Jim, how are you? Jim is a good friend of mine, Jim Mallard, from the Mallard Report. He actually does a very interesting news topical show from his website. You can do it. It's kind of like an on-air blog, a radio show, if you will, called the Mallard Report. It's on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, I'm not advertising for him. I just like him, and I love the show. It's often quite interesting and a lot of times kind of fun, too. So if any of you are looking for something to do Tuesday night, feel free to say hi for me to him from you. Okay, there you go. Glad to hear it, Jim. Glad to hear it. Okay, folks, I got to tell you, I'm here for you. All right. I need questions in order to be here for you, or at least comments that I can then comment on. So let's see. While I'm waiting for some more questions, let's talk a little bit about using the recordings and the various recordings, various types of recordings, and the best ways to listen. Okay. I get a lot of people asking me about headphones versus earbuds versus speakers. So let's kind of give a general view here. Should give those of you with questions an opportunity to write down what you want to ask me, and then hopefully we can get some traction and get moving from there. So this is how it works. If you're using any of my brainwave entrainment exclusive recordings, these are recordings that don't have spoken word on them. They don't have subliminals on them. They're just brainwave entrainment with my special noise background. I call it a relative of pink noise because it's similar to pink noise. So if you're just listening to the entrainment tracks and their single brainwave, that's very important, okay? Recordings like, for instance, the answer or neural synergy, okay? Recordings like that, the Schumann resonance. These recordings are designed to be listened to with stereo headphones, not earbuds, but headphones. Now, I'm going to get into why you shouldn't use earbuds in a minute, but let's just go through the various recording types. Then we have entrainment that has spoken word as well, right? We have the things like the emotive brainwave hypnosis and gratitude meditation and others. Those have the brainwave tones, ba 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 ba, the background, shh, and spoken word. Those recordings are also best listened to with stereo headphones. Okay. Eyes closed, comfortable volume, laying down or sitting with head support. Now, we then go to triliminals, which are similar in that they are listened to exactly the same way as any of the other spoken word recordings. Stereo headphones, eyes closed, comfortable volume, laying down or sitting with head support. Now, the reason why we need stereo headphones, especially for the triliminals, is because we have special frequencies that I'm actually placing using a technique called stereo field placement, which allows me to put signals in specific parts of your brain, literally pinpoint them. By doing that, I can create effects that others can't create. One of the benefits of being a neuroscientist, you understand the dynamics and the physiology of the brain well enough that you get a different understanding than is commonly known. That different understanding allows me to create more specialized, more specific, and more effective recordings. From there, we go into subliminal recording. Now, subliminal recordings are designed to be listened to over a speaker, an external speaker, at a very low volume. They are encoded at about 16,000 hertz or 16 megahertz. That's a very high-pitched sound. If you were to put them on with headphones, you would probably hear what sounds like a squeaking or a squealing sound. Those are actually the subliminals, but they're at such a high pitch, you don't want to use headphones. They don't need to be very loud because they are the high pitch, because they are embedded in such a way that it gets through into the subconscious mind. As long as the frequencies get picked up by the human ear, you're good to go. Then there's brain prints. Brain prints are a combination of triliminals, entrainment, and subliminal technology. I've managed to put it all together. Now, with the entrainment initiator, you have to listen to that at least twice a week with stereo headphones. The rest of the recordings you listen to over a speaker, just like you would a subliminal. So you listen to it at a quiet volume over a speaker. Now, the reason why we don't use earbuds when we use headphones is because earbuds are very, here, do I have a pair of earbuds handy? No, I don't. Okay. Anyway, earbuds are very small, very, very small. And the membrane inside in many earbuds is actually a metal plate or a plastic plate or some kind of material. So it's really, really small. And in reality, you don't hear anything. Your ears pick up vibration. That vibration gets transmitted into the brain through the ear canal, the various bones, the various things that vibrate into the auditory nerve, which then creates what you perceive as sound because it's your actual brain that's doing the perceiving of sound. All of you who are hearing my voice aren't hearing it exactly the same way as everybody else. The reason for that is your brain is doing the interpretation, which means it's going to be subtly different from other people. It's the same thing with the brain prints. So when we listen to the initiator, that's actually the same frequency, the same recording that's subliminalized in the brain prints themselves. So what happens is your brain on a subliminal level picks up the fact that it's listening to entrainment. And through something called muscle memory, it creates a subtle entrainment effect, which then helps the actual frequencies as well as the subliminalized triliminals to do their job. Now, please keep in mind that with brain prints, the effect is more subtle because it is subliminal, and subliminal is more subtle. That being said, you can listen to it longer, more often, and without any effort. Just don't listen to any of the recordings while you're driving. But hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of recordings to listen to. I'm noticing that there's a few people writing in some questions now. So, pardon me, I will get to them. And please keep the questions coming in, okay? Remember, this call goes only as long as you keep me here. And I'm more than happy to stay here as long as you want. I've done calls before that went 5 hours. Now, don't get scared. It doesn't mean I'm going to go 5 hours now, but I'm just telling you that I don't leave until all the questions are done. So, and I'll try to get the call at least going, half an hour, 45 minutes if you don't have a lot of questions. But anyway, hopefully there will be more questions coming in. And let's get to the first one that I see here. Okay, what do you think about wireless headphones? I can't even find wired headphones anymore. Okay, that's a good question. All right, here's how it works. Bluetooth headphones have certain issues that are not present with wired headphones. Now, if you're looking for wired headphones, and the headphones you need for my recordings are not fancy headphones, you just need basic stereo headphones, a right and a left. That's it. That's all you need. I have helped clients find them on Amazon for like 15 American dollars, even less. And they do just a fine job. I know some people who've spent a couple $100s on my recordings and then $1,000 on a set of headphones because they thought it would make a difference. It doesn't. Okay, you're not listening to intricate classical music or jazz music where you need, for 35 different instruments. The techniques that I use don't require fancy headphones. They just require headphones that are good enough that they'll vibrate when they need to vibrate, which sends a signal to the brain, which does what it's intended to do. So that's what it comes down to when we're talking about headphones that are wired. Now, when we talk about Bluetooth headphones, there are some certain quirks with Bluetooth headphones. First of all, if you're going to use Bluetooth headphones, make sure that you know which side of the headphone has the antenna. The way it works with earbuds too, and again, I don't suggest wearing earbuds, but with earbuds too, and with the headphones, usually the antenna's in one ear, and then there's a receiver in the other ear. So what happens is it sends a Bluetooth signal, radiation, if you will, through your head into the other, earbud or cup. Now, I'm not going to get into the potential dangers of that because I don't know what they may be. I don't think Bluetooth technology has been out long enough, or people have been using Bluetooth headphones long enough to show if there is indeed any issue at all with that at all. However, I can tell you that if you are going to use Bluetooth headphones, make sure you know what side the antenna's on. Make sure your device, I would say, is within, they usually say 30 feet. I would say within a few, like at the most, a couple of meters or 5 or 6 feet on the same side as the antenna, because anything that's blocking, it's always line of sight with Bluetooth. So anything that might be blocking the frequency or the transmission,